The blizzard had consumed the northern plateau for 72 hours without mercy. Ice crystals moved like razors through the air, and the temperature had plummeted to levels that would crystallize exposed flesh in minutes. The search party moved through the white darkness with thermal scanners held high, their segmented exoskeletons clicking against the howling wind. Theron Commander Valk led the formation, his compound eyes protected behind polarized visors. Behind him, 6 Orc soldiers moved in perfect synchronization, their antenna sensors sweeping the frozen wasteland for any sign of life. They had been searching for Captain Mara Ellen for 3 standard days now, ever since her distress beacon had gone silent during a routine patrol. The humans were still new to the Galactic Coalition, their species having joined only 5 cycles ago. They were soft things, warm-blooded mammals who required constant temperature regulation, whose bodies lacked natural armor, whose lifespans were tragically brief. The Coalition had accepted them cautiously, uncertain what such fragile creatures could contribute to an alliance of hardy, long-lived species. Thermal signature, 0.7 kilometers northeast, one of the soldiers chittered through the comlink. Faint, very faint. Valk adjusted their trajectory. The signature was weak, likely just residual heat from volcanic vents beneath the ice. But they had to check. Every signature had to be checked. They found her 20 minutes later. Captain Mara Ellen was slumped against a rock formation, her powered armor offline and covered in a thick layer of ice. Frost had claimed her helmet's exterior, creating a death mask of white. Her position was strange, curved inward, her arms locked in an embrace around something hidden beneath her chest plate. "She's gone," one of the soldiers said flatly. "Core temperature reading is catastrophic. No life signs." Valk moved closer, his thermal scanner focused on the human's frozen form. Then he saw it, a flutter of heat barely registering coming from beneath the captain's body. His mandibles clicked in confusion. "Wait," Valk commanded. He knelt beside the frozen human, his segmented fingers working carefully at the ice coating her armor. "There's something—" The armor's chest plate had been manually opened from the inside, and nestled against the human's torso, wrapped in the thermal lining she had torn from her own suit, were 2 small forms, Core and Syrah. The predator cubs were barely 3 months old, their silver and black fur still downy with youth. They were warm. Impossibly they were warm. They stirred as Valk's scanner light fell across them, mewling softly, their 6 eyes blinking against the sudden brightness. By the first hive, Valk breathed. She found the Drax cubs. The search party had been looking for the cubs as well, offspring of Ambassador Drax, who had disappeared during the same storm system that had stranded Captain Ellen. The young ones must have wandered from their transport during the initial storm surge, and the human had found them. One of Valk's soldiers moved forward with a medical scanner, running it over the captain's body. "Commander, her core temperature is 18 degrees below survivable limits. Severe hypothermia. Her armor's power cell was depleted 40 hours ago. She should have frozen solid within 6 hours of power loss." Valk looked at the cubs, then at the human's face behind the frosted visor. Captain Ellen's eyes were closed, her lips blue, her skin paper white. But her arms, even in death, her arms remained locked around the cubs, creating a shelter with her own body. She kept them warm. Valk said quietly. She stripped her suit's thermal lining, opened her armor to share body heat. She sacrificed her own survival to— "Commander." The medic's antennae shot upright. "I'm detecting a heartbeat. Faint but present. 1 beat every 12 seconds. Impossible. Humans couldn't survive this level of cold. Their biology was far too delicate, their metabolic systems too rigid." Valk had studied their physiology extensively. Humans died when their core temperature dropped below 32 degrees Celsius. Captain Ellen's body temperature was registering at 15 degrees. "Hibernation protocol," one soldier suggested. "Some mammals can—" "Humans don't hibernate," Valk cut him off. Their species lost that ability millions of years ago in their evolution. Yet here she was, heart beating once every 12 seconds, body temperature far below the fatal threshold, ice forming in her blood, and still alive. Barely, impossibly, defiantly alive. They moved with practiced urgency. The medic carefully extracted the cubs from the captain's embrace, Core and Syrah mewling in protest, trying to burrow back into the warmth they had known for 3 days. Another soldier activated emergency thermal pods, placing the cubs inside while Valk and the others worked to free Captain Ellen from her frozen prison. The human's body was rigid, locked in its protective curve. They had to cut away portions of her armor to extract her, and throughout it all, that impossibly slow heartbeat continued its defiant rhythm. On the transport back to base, Valk sat beside the medical pod containing Captain Ellen. The advanced systems were slowly, carefully bringing her core temperature back up. Too fast would kill her. Ice crystals in her blood would shred her cells. Too slow and the damage would be irreversible. Ambassador Drax arrived within the hour, his massive frame trembling as he looked at his cubs, warm, safe, sleeping peacefully in their recovery pods. Then he turned to the frozen human, and Valk saw something he had never witnessed before. The fierce predator species known for their hunting prowess and warrior culture began to weep. "She is not of our pack," Drax rumbled, his voice thick with emotion. "Not of our blood, yet she gave her warmth, her life for our young." Valk's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "We questioned what humans could offer the Coalition. What use were such fragile creatures, we wondered." He looked at Captain Ellen's pale face, at the slow rise and fall of her chest as the medical systems worked their miracles. In the adjacent pod, Kor and Sierra slept peacefully, their bellies full, their fur groomed by station medics, completely unaware of how close they had come to freezing in the dark. "Now we have our answer," Valk continued. "They are fragile, yes. Their bodies are weak, their lives brief. But their spirits," and he placed one chitinous hand against the pod's glass, "their spirits burn hotter than any star, hot enough to keep 2 cubs warm through 3 days of frozen hell, hot enough to defy death itself." The medical pod beeped steadily. Captain Mara Ellen's heartbeat grew stronger. 2 beats every 12 seconds now, 3, 4. The human was coming back, pulled from the edge of death by technology and by her own inexplicable refusal to let go. Valk straightened his posture, his compound eyes reflecting the pod's soft light. The other species in the Coalition might be stronger, might live longer, might have natural advantages the humans would never possess. But the humans had something else. Something that couldn't be measured in power output or lifespan. They had the fire to hold on when any reasonable being would let go, the stubbornness to protect the innocent even when it meant their own destruction, the audacity to survive the unsurvivable through sheer force of will. Yes, Valk thought as he watched the human soldier's chest rise and fall with increasing strength. Humanity. Fuck 'em yeah, indeed. The galaxy was only beginning to understand what it meant to have humans among the stars.